Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is Paddock Live. Joining me is Mr. David Scott. How are we doing, Scotty?
I'm good, man, until you give me that little...
Don't swear in the first 30 seconds. That's the first
You gave me a demonstration of what Onana's going to do tomorrow, and it deserves swearing, but I will not.
I was only joking. Onana's going to be fine tomorrow. We're going to be getting into Andre Onana. Obviously, it's been a hot topic for Ruben Amorim's press conference today. We're also going to be talking about transfers as well. United being linked with players. That's gathering momentum as the transfer window gets closer and closer. Plus another couple of stories, injury updates and all that jazz. Quickly, Scotty.
Yep.
Are you feeling confident about tomorrow? Because I don't know if I can still... I've always said about you, you're a pessimist, but I don't know if you are anymore. You seem to have found a new sort of sense of zen.
See, you also pessimist. I say realist, and that's my views under Ten Hag. And my views under Amorim, I think when he signed, I've said all along that we're going to win the Europa League. Now, Joshua Zirkzee may not be able to play in that final, but I'm hoping we scramble through tomorrow and then hear the footsteps of Ahmad towards Carrington, not hopping.
Isn't it mad how players that, like, we're almost just mad fringe players, or players that, like you were saying it before, like Xerxes got booed off against Newcastle. The next Newcastle game, he gets off injured and everyone's devastated. It's like the end of the season. Ahmad was like barely in the squad at the beginning of the season. I love Ahmad. But then like he gets injured, it's like, that's like the season's over. It's mad, innit, how quickly things can turn around. Hopefully both of those players will be back sooner rather than later. We'll get into all that. A couple of people commenting. Joe, no show. Yeah, Joe, you know, got back from his holiday from Japan after being away for a couple of weeks and then decided to take the night off. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
that's what you can do when you're 6'5".
You'll have to put with me.
But it's all right, we drafted in his lookalike. No, don't worry, I can't be too harsh on Joe because he's going to be here tomorrow on the watch along. Well, I'll be putting myself through the mill at Old Trafford. Couple of people, someone asking about the sound. I don't know if the sound's all right for everyone. Yeah, don't worry about it. Harry Sidan says, Bellum. There you go. If you know, you know. Arsenal obviously going through to the Europa League. They wish they're in the Europa League, mate. The Champions League semi-final with a win over Real Madrid.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Are you a Arsenal hater? Does it anger you seeing clubs like them doing well in Europe? My
view on the Champions League, it's not really the Champions League, is it? Because then like top four go into the competition, so it's sort of solid, and they'll get battered by PSG. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's the spirit. Who cares? Didn't even like it. Anyway, it's not even the Champions League. Let's get into it then. Let's have the first pun night. Scott, you're going to read it out for us.
Yeah, man. The heat is on. The heat is on under. New keeper needs buy-in.
The heat is on, and a new keeper needs buy-in.
It's the song, yeah?
Is this the song? We've got producer Cam.
No.
Have to be the song.
What is it?
It's just the goalkeepers. It's all three of them.
Right.
The heat.
Oh, so Onan, is that meant to be Onana? And a new keeper needs. Oh yeah. So I get the heat. I get the heat one. Oh right. So you just try. So it's just a case of can we get all the keepers into this sentence rather than an out and out pun. So the heat is on. Nanda, new keeper needs buying. Put the camera back on yourself. Who's responsible?
Me.
Hands up so they can't hear you. Right.
Look at that face of disappointment.
As I say to my lad, right, when he doesn't have one of his better games at football, you did all right, but you can do a lot better.
They spelt it correctly.
Spelling, very good. Grammar, good.
Thanks.
Yeah. Ingenuity, not so good. Scotty, read out the rest of the story.
We need to improve, Amorim replied when asked if he wants to sign a new goalkeeper. What we should do is to improve any position on the team with the players that we have and try and bring different characteristics from them next year. We need to improve every position on the field. Goalkeeper is the same. We can work with Andre. We are going to make that evaluation on signings for any position in the squad. If we are talking about mistakes, you can see my record. My record is the worst one in the team. I am also underperforming, and I think I am the right guy to coach the team. So I think the same for Andre to be in goal. And that's from the Manchester Evening News.
MEN. So there's a few bits to pick through there. Obviously, he's talking about improving players that we've got. I think we can all agree that you need to do that, or we need to get a tune out of him because we can't sign anyone until the summer, and we have got obviously some big games coming up. Well, let's face facts, it's the Europa, innit? We need to get these mistakes ironed out from the squad. So I understand, I think he handled the question really well. In terms of signings next season, he's more or less saying it there, and make an evaluation for any position. And I do think like United are in that situation where you could buy players, or you look at every single position on that pitch, I think we need strengthening it.
Yeah.
If you talk about wing backs, you talk about goalkeepers, you talk about centre backs, you talk about midfielders, you talk about number 10, you talk about striker. If you had a blank check, you'd probably go out and buy 6 or 7 players, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be silly, but I think there's only 1 or 2 where you go, yeah, they're definitely good enough, and maybe 2 or 3 more where you go, potentially they are. But it's not a great squad, is it? So that all makes sense to me. I thought that Amorim came across well in the press conference. He always does. He was pushed by our mate, wasn't it? Jamie Jackson, I think, was pressing him on the Onana situation. You were trying to say, are you going to buy a new keeper? And he's never going to. I don't think he's ever going to say yes, even if he thinks
he's not going to select him. I'm playing him against Leon, and I'm going to
I'm going to sell him.
Yeah.
I can't sell him now, can I? But I want to. But I can't.
Yeah. So
he'll play tomorrow. So I think there was a bit of mischief making there, maybe from Jamie Jackson, but he got the answer that he probably needed. And I thought Amorim, as he always does, he handles the press conferences well. I like him. I like the fact he's sticking to his guns. We just need to get those results sorted, don't we, bro? Because I do worry. You're a big fan of Amorim?
Of Amorim, yeah. I mean, tomorrow's it's big on his shoulders in terms of like decision making, because when the Xerxes injury at the weekend, it's like, did he need to play him against Newcastle? And it's like the people who are sort of sceptic about Amorim, if he plays Onana tomorrow and Onana has a stinker, it's like.
Yeah, I get that. I think with hindsight that could happen in terms of people look back at it. But I thought the Bayern Newcastle situation made sense to me.
Yeah.
I thought A, taking him out of the limelight for Onana was a good move, and B, it was kind of like it was kind of worth it for him, because you could go, he's having a nightmare, this kid, right? Take him out of the limelight, Bayern there, have a chance. Let's see if you've even got anything to make me think about. Maybe not. If you play well, you're in. Maybe just think about Bayern Deer reminds you why he's not the first choice goalkeeper. So that ends that conversation.
That was the worst sort of audition
it was,
you've ever seen.
All he had to do was not fuck up.
He could have conceded 4, but not by mistake.
Yeah, and you would have gone, well, none of them are his fault. Fine. His distribution wasn't great, but I'm not going to blame him for that. But then he passes to Joe Linton. Let's have a look at some of the comments. These are the worst comments I've ever seen. Philip Glover, come back, Ethan, all is forgiven. No, it's not. He left us. Phobos Saccoman says, wouldn't happen on Ethan's watch. Have you ever seen some of the puns we had on Ethan's watch? Chris Griffith says, I'm not angry, just disappointed. Jobo says, oh, lads. The number 2 pun maker at Paddock have fumbled the ball. Ethan in. Notch says, the post-Ethan show is going well here. Manchester Maverick, getting back to the football, says, bring back Jim Leighton. Wayne Davies says, has Ethan actually left? So there you go there. He's saying about the bad puns. He's blaming it on Ethan. Glenn F says, Onana is on the take, I'm sure of it. He lets an early goal in and lets one through his legs. If he needs to be right at the end of the match, his hands. Don't know why, but I think it's true. I don't think he's on the take. I just think he's not good enough. And I'd love him to prove me wrong. Let's go on to the next one then. This is your chance to prove me wrong when I said you crap at puns.
Even Maignan is better than Onana.
Right. Is that how you pronounce it? Maignan?
Well, it's like Maignan, yeah.
Maignan. Right, go on, read the rest of it. I mean, sorry. Put the camera on yourselves. Look at him cracking himself up. He wrote that and he's loving it. He's absolutely loving it. He's so proud of himself. You're the fact you're loving that.
You're gonna hate me, Jay.
is. But do you know what? Me and Ben were talking about like thumbnails and title and everything. I was like, I don't want to be too harsh on Onana, in this episode, because he's got to be the keeper tomorrow. He's getting a lot of stick. I think, we're not MUFC, but we are supportive of the players. We'll get behind him. And then you're saying Yunan's better than Onana.
We should have gone Maignan or Yonan.
He's somehow made it worse. Right, go on.
That's that pint you owe me, Ben. United and Chelsea are both long-term admirers of Maignan and are both in the market for a new keeper this summer. Even though Milan would rather not sell Maignan, Caught Offside understands they are now increasingly open to letting him leave for the right price, as talks over a new contract for him have stalled. Maignan has been a star performer for the Rossonera, though it's also felt that he's been slightly below par this season, adding further uncertainty over his future. Maignan for 40 mil certainly looks like a fine market opportunity that might not come again anytime soon, so these clubs would do well to pounce while they can. That's Caught Offside.
Get involved in the chat and the comments, let us know what you think. It still feels like a massive gamble to me. I get that he's highly rated and I understand the issues we've got with Onana, but it feels like you could be sat here in a few months going, we've swapped one goalkeeper who's underperforming for another one who's maybe not up to it. I don't know. This doesn't excite me. And also, in terms of the calibre of the story, it feels a bit wishy-washy, this. It doesn't feel like United have really looked at him much. It doesn't feel like... I know you're saying long-term admirers, but what's that mean?
Yeah.
We've probably got a list with about 50 keepers on it, and he's one of them. I don't think we're anywhere near to making a decision. I think it's mad, right? Because sometimes you can think, well, he's just another keeper from Milan or whatever, from that city. I know, obviously, Onana came from International, which has got nothing to do with anything, by the way, but it can sort of skew your thinking.
That's the first thing I said. We don't want another one from the city.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You can't be having another one from there, because we had one from that city last time and it didn't work out. So even that can skew your thinking. But listen, get involved in the chat in the comments. Let us know what you think. I'm interested to people what they think. Omar Kiba says we're still chasing overrated players. Joey Jobo says he's got a lot of injuries though, need a decent number 2. Philip Glover says, yeah, if what I've seen of him, Maignan isn't great. Dave Curran says, love you two geezers, and tomorrow 3-0 easy win, boys. Manchester Maverick says he's at the same level of Onana, and if he was any good, he would have had a big move by now. Let's have a quick butcher's look at how... Oh, he's same age as well, isn't he? Yeah, same age. There's a lot of similarities there, really.
Is he international, yeah?
Yeah, I think he's got, let's have a look. He's got 30 caps for France, so not bad.
Is he the number 1 for France?
He is now, isn't
he? Yeah, Lloris.
Yeah, since Lloris has retired, I think he's certainly, if he's got 30 caps, he must be there or thereabouts. I mean, yeah, he's played 17 times for France in the last 18 months, so yeah, he is.
Here's a question for you. What's more important for the keeper that comes in next? Is it the distribution on the ball or being able to save the ball? Because I watched a highlight reel of Onana that someone put out today, and it's from the Champions League final.
Against City.
Right? It was 1 minute 40. There wasn't a save on there. It was just all passing, which he was bought for. But I've not seen a montage of his great saves. What's the priority for you? Is it distribution? I know you want both.
Do you know what? I'm not trying to give you a politician's answer. I'll tell you what I think, right? If we can get Lisandro Martinez back into this back three, and maybe to a certain degree, even Aiden Evan, I know he's only young, but even what I've seen of him, if you can get those ball-playing defenders who can carry the ball and who are good with the feet into the defence, Delict's not terrible at it as well. He's not the same level as Lisandro Martinez. I think it doesn't matter as much about ball-playing. I think the issue you've got at the minute is you haven't got the defenders that you need to carry the ball out of defence, and you haven't got a goalkeeper who can distribute the ball very well. Onana, for whatever reason, it must be an instruction, he's gone long now. We haven't got a striker who can hold the ball up because Rasmus Højlund can't do that. So nothing makes sense. Do you remember when we used to have this thing, Carl Anke used to say when he came on the channel, like, you'd have De Gea, who wasn't great at distribution, and we were trying to play a new system, and it was like De Gea and Maguire and Fred. I know you love Fred, but he wasn't that type of player. And then you had, I can't remember, you had like Marcus or whatever, or Martial. He said it doesn't make sense if you're trying to play that way with these players because they're not that type of player. You've got to play to your strengths. And I think that's the issue we've got. If we're missing those type of defenders who can play about, then you do need a goalkeeper. If you are going to play this progressive way of football, which I presume that Amorim will continue to want to do, then you're going to need a ball-playing goalkeeper. By rights, any goalkeeper should be half decent at shot stopping anyway.
That should be your bread and butter.
What are you doing in goal? Yeah.
Well, that's the big question regarding Onana.
In terms of your question, I'd say, for me, after the season we've had, just stopping shots would be great.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to have a dig at Onana, but I don't want, when someone does a little bit of a scuffed P-roller, I don't want that little feeling of getting me back in my foot. I think, shit, is this going to go in? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I know it sounds crazy, but I do.
Is there any way back for Onana now, or is he is that it? Given the sort of the amount of mistakes, I was talking montages before. You could make one of his balls up far more than you could his saves.
Do you know what? Right, one game can turn things around for you, or start turning things around for you. Do you remember Phil Jones had one good half against Wolves when he barely played for 2 years, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's good, we've missed him."
Is that when he came back and played? Did he do a free kick, a corner? Was he taking corners that game?
No, God, no, that was ages ago. People forget. I remember everyone hating on Pogba, and we went away to Spurs, and he came on and won us a penalty, and everyone was like, "We've missed him." Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you can say, if Onana, and it's a big if, has an absolute worldie tomorrow, keeps in the game, keeps in the tie, and then goes on a bit of a run to the end of the season, and we win the Europa League and he's played his part, people might look at it and go, is the keeper still there?
Yeah.
However, the flip side, if he doesn't do out, if he just is, mid, as the kids say, then I think Amorim's going to be looking at it and going. Because you've got to remember, Amorim didn't buy him, did he?
No. I think the die is cast with that.
Do you think he's done?
Yeah, because even if he has
sorry.
good performances at the end of the season and we keep him based on that, same thing we did with Ten Hag last year.
Yeah. Peder Evanson. Sorry, I've read that completely wrong. Peder Svensson. How early to get into Stretford End? Show tomorrow. I think you can get into Stretford End about 2 hours before kick-off, innit? I don't know, I'm usually just about making kick-off usually. Right, let's get into the next one. You lot have got, fix up, look sharp.
I'm Schick and tired of not scoring.
Much better.
That's a lot better.
Yeah? Sometimes, right, when you've having a bit of a nightmare, when you've given the ball away constantly, you just need a couple of touches. Yeah? Just keep possession for a minute. Do you know what I mean? Nice little simple 5-yard pass. Yeah, a little 1-2 with your mate. Just so calm everything down. That's what you've done there. Well done.
United are monitoring Leverkusen's forward Patrik Schick as a potential strike option. According to Patrick Berger, United are monitoring Schick's situation at Bayerina and are considering a summer swoop for him. The 29-year-old still has 2 years left on his contract with Leverkusen, and Berger adds that the defending Bundesliga champions would demand a fee of up to €30 million, which is 25 million quid, to allow the 6'3" forward to leave the club in the summer. Bringing in a more prolific forward like Schick would be a key addition to bolster Ruben Amorim's attack. His experience, physicality, aerial strength and speed make him an ideal fit for the demands and intensity of the Premier League should he join this summer. That's Football Talk and Patrick Berger, the Patrick Berger.
No, we've had him on the channel, and I used to do everyone's head in, because I always used to say, Patrick Berger on the channel, not the former Liverpool player, so I stopped saying it, because everyone used to go, Jay, you say that every time, we know now.
I didn't, thanks.
Well, there you go, you see. No, he was at Sport Irons, Patrick Berger, then I think he's gone over to, he does Sky Sports now as well, he's a top bloke. This isn't the one for me. I think Schick is a decent player, and the issue I have, I spoke about this on the news the other day, is I'm not even against us getting a 29-year-old. I think he turns 30 in May, I think. Not May. I think he turns 30 in January next year. I don't mind that. I know we're trying to aim for younger players. I don't mind, like, 25 million quid, we need a striker, someone who's proven. I just don't think he's that reliable. I think he's a bit up and down. He's all right, but he has sort of seasons where he scores quite a few goals, plays a lot of games. He's had some injury issues. He's had seasons where he's had like 3 goals. Admittedly, when he's had injury issues as well, he's had other seasons where he's been banging him in. He's doing well this season. I just think he's a bit up and down. And if I'm being brutally honest and being slightly pessimistic, there is a scenario where I think he could come into this team and not do much.
Okay.
And I might have even changed my tune a little bit from when I did the news the other day, because I was a little bit like, I can see this working. The more I look at it, the more I'm not feeling this one. What do you reckon of him?
I don't really know much about him, so I was going to ask you what type of striker. Is there a striker you could compare him to? What's his style of play? We could certainly do with someone who knows where the net is, even if he's only getting 13 goals a season. It's like, how high are you expecting the replacement or the improvement on Højlund to come in and do 30 goals?
No.
20, like what are you expecting, especially with the budget in mind?
Well, you think, if you're going to go out and get a striker who is a little bit older maybe, or a striker who, you're getting him from the continent and you're looking at paying, we're going to pay Schick 25 million quid, could you not get someone, and I know it keeps sounding like a broken record here, but I'm telling you what I believe. I'd rather have Jonathan David than Patrik Schick.
Yeah.
I would. Jonathan David has been scoring more consistently for Lille over the last 3 or 4 years than Patrik Schick has in the Bundesliga. Now, I know the two, slightly different players. Well, they are very different players. But I think you could, because Jonathan David's on a free, what would his wages be? Let's say you spend 25 million quid or whatever on his wages, roughly. It'd be the same thing. Jonathan David's slightly younger as well. He's a few years younger. So that, for me, would make more sense. Someone like Osimhen, again, you're probably going to have to pay a little bit more than 25 million, plus his wages are going to be dearer. But he's more proven, he's more reliable, he's got that bit more X factor than someone like Schick, who is decent. I think, is he left-footed? Schick. I mean, I think he is. I think he's...
Jonathan David on a free, if we're for a team that's struggling with money and a striker certainly, it seems a no-brainer to me.
I think he's a decent player. Obviously, he's quite a tall striker, isn't he, Schick? Get involved in the chat in the comments, let us know what you think. Hopefully you'll know a lot more about him. Ross Murphy says, I agree Jay, did I say January this year? I meant next year. Sorry?
He is left-footed.
Yeah. Peter Kelly, who's a member of the Academy, 57 months, top bloke, Peter Kelly. Heading over for the game tomorrow, lads. Only Europa League game. Home game I've missed is 20. Also staying the weekend for Wolves, so need something to do Friday, Saturday. Sorry. Yeah, there's loads to do in Manchester. There's Greg's.
Yeah.
There's drive-through Greg's. There's Greg's inside in the Arndale. There's outdoor Greg's. You can sit outside. There's loads to do in Manchester. What do you say?
Some guy called Greg.
There's a guy, you can shut your mouth, you've had enough of you tonight, you fucking buns. I'm only messing. Ben says there's a guy called Greg. I'm just trying to say, I've just seen something, that's it. Whippet Master says, Jay, he's 29 until he's 30. Take him for 25 million with another striker coming in. Also, United says we need attacking fullbacks who are comfortable going forward that will make such a difference with overloads and naturally lead to more chances. We miss this big time. Chris Griffith says Jonathan David for the Canadian clicks this World Cup year, elbows up. Tyler Tate says hard pass on Schick. Joe C says get both David or David. You don't know David in it and Schick. I don't know why I said David there. Yeah, makes sense to me. All of that, even though everyone said different things. Right, go on. Let's see the next one.
Simon says, Xavi sign. Him sign. Xavi. Simon says.
I like Shav, isn't it? So
Shav him sign.
Like have.
What? So that Shav is meant to be have?
Yeah.
Because it's Xavi. Is it Simon or Simon?
I think it's Simons.
Simons.
Shav.
It's hard to get the one around Simons.
Right, Simon says Xavi sign. See, I don't think you need... I think you could have gone with Simon says we should Xav him or I'll shove him or something. Xav him sign. It sounds like you're trying to do a crap Jamaican accent or something. Like him sign. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, Jay.
That's what I thought you were trying to do, so I was a bit annoyed.
Everyone thinks I'm new and they're going to hate me.
But you're not. You're trying to say something else. Right. Put the camera on yourself, producer Ben. This is his debut, right? His solo debut, yeah?
It's not. I did 2 weeks ago.
Oh, we did 2 weeks ago, is it? Right. This is his solo debut with the camera on him, yeah? And I'm getting, like, you know, Andrew Ridgely after George Michael left one vibes here.
If Ben's debut was a United player's debut, whose would it be?
Listen, Patrice Evra against Say. Right?
Massimo Taibbi?
Oh! Man of the match debut. Yeah. People forget. Man of the match at Anfield, Taibbi's debut. So there you go.
That's twice tonight, Ben's 2 pints.
There you go. He stuck up for you there. You thought that was an insult, but it wasn't. He was sticking up for you. Go on, Scott.
Manchester United have drawn up plans to sign RB Leipzig attacking midfielder Xavi, is it? Simons.
Simon says.
The Daily Mail reports the Red Devils must beat Liverpool and Manchester City to the 21-year-old signature in the summer, and to do so they must secure qualification to the Champions League, easy, by winning the Europa League. Simons, who has contributed to 14 goals in 21 matches in the Bundesliga season, is seen as an ideal fit for manager Ruben Amorim's system. That's the MEN and Daily Mail.
I hate this transfer rumour.
You hate it because we're up against City and Liverpool?
Because it's nonsense.
Oh, okay.
We're not going to get him.
Because we're up against City and Liverpool.
Yeah, there's that. Like, I just don't think you're going to get him. I just don't see it. This keeps coming up. Whenever I read these stories, it always feels like they're just shoehorning in United into it. And yeah, he's a decent player. He's 14 goals in 21 matches in the Bundesliga is to be admired. I just don't see it happening, and I'm not that keen. I'll be honest with you. I know, right? Loads of people watching now will be going, oh, but he's probably better than what we've got, and all the rest of it, yeah. I understand that, but we have to aim better than just better than what we've got, right? Do you understand what I mean? Jamie Vardy has scored more goals than any of our strikers. I think he scored more than put together. But I won't say let's go out and get Jamie Vardy. You want to get players that are good and fit the system and have the right attitude and temperament and injury record and all the rest of it and the resale value and what comes to the club and don't need massive wages. I think you're going to have to pay him big wages. You're going to have to, if you're going to go anywhere near toe-to-toe with City and Liverpool, you're going to be spending massive money we haven't got. Yeah. So I just don't see it happening. I just don't. I think there's too many variables that go against us. And also, whenever I've watched him, I've watched him loads of times, I think he's all right. What do you reckon of him?
Yeah, well, it's certainly a position that we need strengthening in. Is it a number 10 we'll be looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly a position we need a new player for. But again, it's where do we prioritise this season on a limited budget? And I'd be putting all my money onto a striker personally. I've not seen too much of him, but if we're going up against Liverpool and Man City, who are going to be able to offer him Champions League football, I don't know. It's a big ask, really. You can't really, 14 goals in 21 matches.
No, so no, it's decent. It's like I know he's a completely different type of player, but going back to Patrik Schick, he's got 17 goals in 26 matches this season. Like, these are good numbers, and they're certainly much better numbers than what our attackers. I know it's a different league, but what our attackers have been putting up this season has been absolutely woeful. But I just feel it's a bit like he's a decent player. I'm not saying he's not. Is he right for United? I don't know. And also, are we going to get him? No. I feel like these stories are just trying to sort of shoehorn him in. He's been linked with us since Ten Hag was here. And then it was all because, Ten Hag likes him and all this shit. And now it's all Amorim likes him. It's like, did they both really like him, or just making it up? Get involved in the chat and the comments. I think people are a bit lukewarm on this one. Glenn F says, I'm with you, Jay. I'm seeing another Jason Sanchez. Just Ashton Stuff says, I really want Mount to turn up. I like he has been quiet, be it injuries, but given how much Amorim loves him, I really want to see Mount get going. I want to see Mount get going. I think we all do. We haven't seen anything from him yet, have we really, in the United shirt? And it's been a bit of a shame, and I think he's another one who needs to do something this season, because you can't go 2 years at United and do fuck all.
He looked hungry though, didn't he, the last game that he came on, and he wasn't scared considering he had the injury. You'd think some players would be a bit nervous about going into the tackle. So he had that little bit of bite about him, so he's certainly a player. I think he'll start tomorrow night.
Yeah, did I have him in mind? I think I had him in my predicted 11, didn't I? Yeah, I think you're right. Right, go on then.
He's better than City's one.
Much better. Much better. Right, yeah. Nice little pun there on Ederson. I get it. It makes sense. It's funny. Yeah. It's good. Yeah. And I'm not going to get into the whole one's a midfielder and one's a goalkeeper. Forget that. I'll allow you. Yeah. I think you needed this. Yeah. You've scuffed one in, but it's still a goal. Yeah. And you needed it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're all right, taskmaster,
mate.
You can't even say it.
Yes, you shut up. You can't even say it. He set high standards. Yeah. I'm not going to dig at the kid. Put the camera on yourself.
I'm normally better than this.
See, he said it himself. He's normally better than this. Put the produce cam on. There you go. Well done. Has no one else joined in tonight? Are these all Bens?
There was some deliberating, but...
Right.
Ben
did you just overrule everyone? Did you pull rank and say, listen, I'm going with these, and you two can shut up? Right, okay. Go on, read this out.
A potential boost in United's pursuit of Atalanta's Ederson following the club's latest appointment. The Red Devils are one of a number of Premier League teams credited with interest in the Brazilian following his emergence in Italy. Ederson remains under contract with Atalanta until 2027, but has been linked with a move to Manchester United in recent months. 12 months after his Old Trafford exit, former United director John Murtough has joined the Italian club as their new director of global development. It's also worth noting that Ederson isn't the only Atalanta player to have been linked with a move to Manchester United. Winger Ademola Lookman has previously been mentioned as a target.
The main concern with this is I like Ederson. I think he's a good player, and I can see why we've been linked with him. But there's Atalanta play hardball, man, with transfers, and we know that.
Yeah.
Even like Ahmad, who played an hour of professional football. I think it was 20 million going up to 37 million. He was very highly rated. I remember we spoke to Romano about it, and he said he thought United had done well to go straight in and get him straight away before Juve got in there. I forgot his name then. Rasmus Højlund, 72 million.
I know.
For a player that had one good season with him. Atalanta, I know his contract is out up in 2 years, but you could end up sort of not getting your pants pulled back down, but having to pay a bit of decent amount of money, and we haven't really got it. And it's like, if we are going to spend the kind of money that I think you might end up spending on Ederson, on someone who hasn't been playing in the Premier League, might be a slight element of being a gamble there, is it the right way to go? Also as well, I fucking don't want anything to do with John Murtough. Don't get me started. What do you reckon? Would you like to see him at United? Would you think it can happen, this transfer?
Yeah, there's a possibility to it. You never wonder with former employees of the club and how that works when they go elsewhere. But I like Lookman ahead of Ederson, if I'm honest. I know he's a few years older, but I wouldn't mind seeing him return to the Premier League, and he's been sensational at Atalanta. Would there be anything could you see Højlund going back to Italy?
I could see him. I think there's
Juve
want him, and you look at what he did in Italy. He did well there. Still relatively young, and I think the one advantage of United being so fucking bad is that people kind of look at it, especially from abroad, and go, you can't hold that too much against him. He's playing in a complete dysfunctional team with a load of attackers who don't pass to him either. So I think there's a chance that could happen. Whether he go back to Atalanta, I don't know. I know that wasn't what you're saying, but if if we sold Rasmus Højlund, obviously took a bit of a hit on the fee. Maybe you could use that to bring in another player, but I don't know. This one feels like it could happen, but I don't know if it will, if that makes any sort of sense. Obviously, I mean, he's 25 now? So he's not young, but he's not that old, is it? I don't know. Again, I don't want to be negative with these transfers, but I always feel like they're a bit loose. I mean, that's not really... None of them are really exciting me. None of them are really think, that's definitely going to happen. Get involved in the chat in the comments. I want to know what everyone thinks. We've got an Arsenal fan in the chat, which is bizarre. Shouldn't he be out celebrating? I'm not going to get him out of it. Someone says, get Gary Downs out of there, who's singing, "We love you, Arsenal, we do. We love you, Arsenal, we do." To be fair, though, I remember last time we got to a Champions League semi-final, I automatically jumped on a Arsenal fan channel and started chatting to them.
Did you really?
Yeah, I wasn't out celebrating. Get a grip, kid. Someone's saying get rid of him. No, he can stay. Go on then, let's have the next one.
That's it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Right, okay. I feel like I might have been a bit harsh on you, Ben, tonight with your puns.
No, it's just
But they were, it's only because of the very high standard you've set. That's all I'm going to say, yeah? And you're mischief making you yourself.
What do you mean?
You're really... I've known you. I saw the look of disappointment in your eyes when you looked at it.
But I didn't look at Ben or tell the people at home about how bad his puns were. Give the boy a chance, man. Is the sound all right? He's done something, right?
He's done well.
He's done
well. I like the fact that David and Cristiano are with us as well. Just sort of like, we're just pointing at him whenever I said that.
They rolled backwards every time the camera came on.
Yeah, they were like edging away.
Yeah, like I'm not getting
involved.
You know
what I mean? Like, I'm not involved in this. Reminds me of Ryan Giggs in the dugout when it was like David Moyes was just edging away from him. Like, it's now to do with me, this. Don't worry, but I'm not part of this. Well done, producer Ben. You smashed it. Thanks everyone who got involved in the chat and the comments. We've got the preview out in the morning. It's myself and Ronaldo Brown. Also as well, we've got the watch along tomorrow. Don't forget as well, you can be part of that. So get your phones out, film yourself in landscape for 30 seconds, giving us your score predictions, and then send them to paddockmatchday@gmail.com, and we will use that as part of our pre-match build-up. And also, when you send your email, let us know if you live in the Greater Manchester area, because if you do, we'll get you on the preview. We'll try and get more people into the preview who send us their prediction. And if you don't, then in fact, we can always get you on a Zoom anyway. So it's just we like to do them in the studio where possible. Scotty, always a pleasure. You can find him on Sober Fellas with me as well. Go and check that out. Big game tomorrow, Scotty.
Big game.
I know this isn't the preview, but give us your score prediction, bro.
It's going to be 2-0 to Manchester United tomorrow.
That's the spirit.
Yeah?
I love that. You really been saying?
I think so.
Right, there you go.
Fernandes.
That's factual. Yeah? 2-0 Fernandes. That's all you need to know. That's been Scotty. I've been Jay. This has been Paddock Live. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.